Artificial intelligence is changing the way we live. While it's delivered real benefits in research and streamlined productivity, it's also changing the way scammers operate. From fake text and phishing emails to cloned voices, digital fraud is becoming increasingly harder to spot and more costly than ever. So how can we stay one step ahead? Joining us to share how we can protect ourselves in this new era of AI-driven scams is national security and cyber defense expert Patrick Coughlin, who is also the author of Dark Side of the Boom: How Scammers Hijack the AI Revolution. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you, Laura. Great to be here.
Now, how big of a problem is digital fraud, and how has it grown so much?
Yeah, so the average American now, Laura, gets at least one scam call, text, or email every single day. And last year alone, tens of millions of Americans fell victim to these scams and lost close to $200 billion, making digital fraud the fastest growing crime in this country and also the largest crime facing consumers, not just in San Diego, but everywhere.
And this is really your wheelhouse. National security expert and founder of Savi Security, which is a tech company protecting families from AI-powered fraud. Can you tell us what are imposter scams and how do cybercriminals pull them off?
Yeah, so imposter scams now make up a third of all digital fraud. And what an imposter scam is when scammers try to impersonate somebody that we're more likely to trust. Maybe a government agent, a police officer, somebody from the IRS, maybe a family member or a loved one or a brand that we all use. And they use these AI tools to clone voices, to create perfect scripts that really use the language we're expecting from those imposters. And they use images and fake video generators to create pixel perfect experiences and websites that make these scams more personalized, more targeted, more polished, and more convincing. So even the tech savviest amongst us are vulnerable.
So frightening. Now, digital fraud is getting more sophisticated by the day. Let's break down some warning signs to watch out for.
Yeah, so, it used to be that we could spot these scams because they had like flagrant grammar errors or generic greetings or came from some Nigerian prince asking for, some money and promising us a perfect return. But now these scams are just totally different. They're way more personalized. And we can no longer really trust our eyes or our ears in these moments. And so what we encourage folks to do is to focus on the emotions. Scammers love to manufacture some urgency. You have to pay now. There's going to be a significant penalty if you don't. There's been fraud on your account. And so in those moments where urgency is combined with an ask for access or money, we encourage people to take a step back, to pause, and find a different way to verify that communication.
And everyone watching has one or two seniors in their life who have fallen victim to these phishing scams. Are elderly people the most vulnerable?
Yeah, and look, in addition to working in cybersecurity for 20 years, I'm also a father. I've got, my mom is 74 years old. I've got growing kids. And so, this is a real issue for families, and it hits across all generations. Senior citizens, there's a myth out there that they're somehow more vulnerable, but the truth is they often have more savings, and the scammers know that, and so they target them with more sophisticated and personalized scams. But we also see that Gen Z is 3 times as likely to fall for one of these AI-powered scams as baby boomers.
And what are some simple steps we can take to protect ourselves and our loved ones?
Yeah, so we're doing it right now. Talk about these issues more. We got to bring down the stigma and the shame around victims so that people feel comfortable sharing their experiences and asking for help. And then check out Savi in the App Store. We've got free tools in there to help consumers and families spot scams better in their text messages and their emails. And then we've got options for more proactive prevention to really arm families with better tools to bring confidence in this digital and AI era. So we've got a free scam checker that's available in the app as well as at scamwise.com. So you can take a screenshot of a text you've received. You can even forward an email to submit at scamwise.com. You can take a picture of physical mail, Laura, which we see a lot of, like maybe you got a funky looking medical bill or a fee on a small business and you don't know whether it's real. You can upload that content to Scamwise or into our app, Savi, and it will give you back a really quick verdict on the suspiciousness of it, but it will also recommend ways that you can go about and verify it.
And it's also a tool for adult children and caregivers to manage risk to their elderly family members at a distance.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, in 2024, our mom got a call that looked like it was coming from our sister. Scammers had spoofed her number, and we think they may have cloned her voice, and my mom heard my sister's voice, and she needed help, and then a man came on the phone and said, "We've got your daughter, and we're going to kill her if you don't PayPal us some money right away." And so in that moment, my mom was fully believing that this was a scam. But luckily, she was able to get out of it because she happened to text my brother-in-law saying, what are we going to do about Courtney? And he came back and said, what do you mean? She's here, she's in the shower. And so she got lucky, and there was some quick thinking in that moment, but so many others are truly vulnerable, and that's what sent me down the rabbit hole that ultimately led to the book and led to us starting Savi Security.
And where can we go to learn more?
If you want to learn more, you can go to savvysecurity.com, or you can check out our apps in the App Store.
Patrick, we thank you so much for these tips and tools to protect our money, our identity, and our peace of mind.
Thank you.
And we thank you for joining us on San Diego Living. We'll see you next time.